There are powers on Earth too hidden to be seen, and conspiracies too vast to comprehend. For years, the world has seen fact distorted, reality manipulated, and the truth concealed. Join the Pierre Sebac podcast to uncover the real meanings behind ancient aliens and their symbolism.
Hi, this is Pierre Sebac, unlocking the keys to the mysteries. Now today I'm going to look at the Breakaway Civilisation, which is an idea which is propounded by the historian Richard Dolan. It's very distinct from what I refer to as the Parallel Society, and the Parallel Society is really the dialectic between the Seraphim and the Kerubim. So this occult tradition which has been partitioned or split between human and non-human angels. The non-human angels are the Seraphim, the human or proto-human angels are the Kerubim. Now, Plutarch himself referred to the Parallel Society, and the Parallel Society is something which I will talk about in later videos. But for now, I want to just look at Richard Dolan's term, the Breakaway Civilisation. There is obviously a lot of merit within this terminology, and it's a very well thought out idea. So I'm just going to read you an excerpt from his book, and this is from his work UFOs and the National Security State, The Cover-Up Exposed, 1973 to 1991. He writes the following. Thus, by the early 1990s, a variant twist to the UFO phenomenon must be considered. A deep black program could well have existed operating beyond the boundaries of the open legal system, possibly beyond the boundaries of the standard military system, working for unknown superiors which used extraordinary means and technology to take humans for testing and interrogation. If we also consider the possibility of covert breakthroughs in propulsion technology and the off-the-grid nature of the deep black world itself, we come to the possibility that we are dealing with, in effect, a breakaway civilization. One whose loose connections at various points to the open civilization of humanity, but with great independence, secrecy, and a monopoly of certain key scientific secrets. Granted, the level of separation implied for a breakaway civilization would be vastly greater than any Cold War examples. In principle, however, such a development is possible, and responsible research must consider the strength of supporting evidence and clues. So I think that's a very interesting idea. I think what I want to emphasize is that the breakaway civilization is very ancient, and it does go back into this parallel tradition. We can view the parallel tradition as being a parallel tradition, whether it's in parallel religious tradition or the parallel mythology. Here we're dealing with idiomatic speech, idios other. So this is a private discourse. And so the breakaway civilization is old. It can be traced back at least to Plutarch in his reference to parallel lives. The terminology parallel lives was comparing the Greek and the Roman writers, but the subtext in Plutarch's work is of this parallel society, the interrelationship between the divinities and between mankind, between heaven and earth, which the two, heaven and earth, are moored together by an angelic vessel, and the angels, or the sailors, the angelic sailors, are emissaries. Now, so with regards to the breakaway polemic, it is a very good thesis, but it has its problems, or its limitations, should I say, in terms of that it's only really dealing with the here and now. From an occult perspective, terminology such as black ops for me is very interesting, because obviously the word ops, which is an abbreviation on the word operation, but ops in the Greeks means an eye. An eye refers to the watchers. Again, in the Arabic, Sauda Black would relate to Sodi, which is the priesthood of Moses, and the priesthood of Moses worshipped the Shedim, or Shed, which is a demon, a goblin, a ghost. which is a type of jinn, and is really another name for El Shaddai. El Shaddai being the ancient or archaic name for Yahweh. And again, the etymology of Yahweh is related to a serpent, and that is something which I'm going to look at in a little bit more detail in later videos. So we have this breakaway polemic, which can be understood then as the parallel society. But as I've maintained, the parallel society is very ancient. So the problem with Dolan's thesis is this idea that this is only a modern idea. And again, I think that when I read Dolan's work, I've got a feeling that he's been talking to a whistleblower, somebody who knows the situation, and Dolan, being a political historian, has put his own spin on, or his own understanding. And so his interpretation of a breakaway civilization, although it is very valid and has a lot of merit, we do need to emphasize that there is this occult tradition going back to the veneration of angelic vessels, to angelic vessels being buried underneath temples, and again this information and knowledge being sequestered within the classical world. And this was classified, and the terminology classified in this respect is denoting classis, which is a naval fleet, which again is representational of class, one who is born from a boat or a vessel. This is an angelic class which is distinct from the human class, and is therefore symbolized through the parallel tradition. Now we see therefore that there is this classified tradition, and therefore it is very secret, and it is dependent upon the propagation of class. So that's essentially Richard Dolan's idea of a breakaway civilization, and the if you like, the relationship or the idea that the breakaway civilization, we can take this back into the ancient world, and that it's very old. And that's basically the main point which I wanted to make, was that the breakaway civilization, when we go back into the ancient world and when we go back to Plutarch, is really denoting this parallel tradition, which is, if you like, identified as the parallel society. Okay, thank you very much. If you've enjoyed this short video, then please give me a thumbs up. If you've got any suggestions about any types of videos that I want to make in terms of the symbolism or deconstruction, then please, if you get in contact with me through my YouTube channel, you can put comments underneath these videos, and I will try and answer some of the comments. So it's great talking to you all again. Please, let's try and make this a better world. Thank you very much. This is Pierre Sabak. Thank you.